My name is Chris Davis, and as he said, I don't believe any of that, okay? I've been teaching English Lit for, I don't know how long, since about 2006. Started with Gainesville State College. They merged us, all of a sudden we became University of North Georgia, but this applies to anybody doing what y'all are doing. First and foremost, it's an honor to be here with y'all, okay? Every single day it is my honor. I've been doing this in Hall County for 10 years and I'm a little nervous. I don't know why, because I've been doing it a while, but y'all, you've already taken the steps. You are some of the bravest students, scholars. I say this every year. You're risking your high school GPA, your college GPA, right? You're seizing these opportunities. And you deserve recognition for that, okay? You hear what all of our Hall County colleagues say about you. You hear what your parents say about you. What you rarely hear is what us professors at these institutions think about y'all. And I want to let you know we admire you all greatly, okay? For your perseverance, for your ambition. And you've already achieved so much just sitting in this room, okay? Remember that when you're looking at finals, when you're looking at essays, when you're looking at these assignments and you're like, holy crap, I don't even know what that math professor just told me. I've been in there for an hour and I walked out more confused than when I came in here. Stop, breathe, and remind yourselves that you deserve to be here, that you earned every bit of this, okay? You're gonna hit, the anxiety's gonna kick in, the procrastination's gonna kick in. You're gonna literally bend over backwards trying to find some reason not to do that discussion post, right? Trust me, you will. If you have me, you got a lot of discussion posts. We'll be talking in the last couple of weeks of the semester, and I'll be like, look, I told you all semester, keep up with your discussion posts, and there'll be half the class that's sitting there trying to play catch up and going back. It happens. You won't be alone. It happens every year. Don't freak out. First, one of the most important things, I know we said put your phones away. You don't need them out, but let me ask you this. Raise your hand, please, if you have Outlook, the email app, on your phone. Okay. Next week when I come back here, I want every single one of y'all to be able to raise your hand. Why? Because this is the primary point of contact between you and your professors, other than in class. We don't necessarily have long office hours that we can keep here, okay? But what we do have is technology, all right? That's how we're going to reach you. In class, will be after class, before class, that kind of stuff. But if you have a question, you need to be able to ask it, right? You need to be able to get to us. My whole pedagogy is based on making myself available to my students any way I possibly can, okay? That being said, you'll have other professors who have certain specific hours they've set aside where they'll answer emails. They will set aside weekends where they won't necessarily be reachable. I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong, but what I am saying is that you need to learn your professor's preferences because we're all different. It's not this much more standardized approach, if you will, where everybody's on the same page who's teaching you anymore, okay? So that means you're gonna need to be reaching out. You're going to need to use the agency in your own education, right? Take control of your own destiny as much as you already have by being here, right? You're all taking a risk, like I said. Incredibly brave. I'll tell you right now, at y'all's age, I would not be sitting in this room right now, okay? I would probably be not necessarily making the most out of the opportunities that were given to me, but luckily Hall County has done something amazing, okay? I don't have the numbers, but it's one of the most amazing programs, and without y'all, it doesn't exist, okay? So remember that, please. So Outlook, everybody download it, log it, not right now, Lanier Tech, UNG, get that email attached to it, set notifications, turn them on, okay? Have that access, use it. We are here for y'all. Without y'all, none of us exist, right? I enjoy cooking. I'm having to give up my moonlight shifts at a Blind Pig Tavern in Watkins because I really like to cook. It's kind of my zen place. It gets me out of my head. It helps me not stress about being responsible for y'all's education, for my children, for my family, that kind of stuff. I'm giving that up for y'all. Why? Because this is worth way more, all right? It makes way more difference in y'all's lives and my own life as well, okay? You change us, we change y'all. It's a reciprocating relationship. Communicate with each other, communicate with your professors. I'm gonna be late with an assignment. It's not the end of the world, y'all. It's not the end of the world, okay? Communication. If you let people know, we're not here to punish you. I'm not the word police, okay? I'm also not here to teach you how to live your lives. I have no idea how to go about doing that, okay? I'm here to teach English Lit, critical thinking, forming an argument, helping you form a stronger argument for whatever it is you may believe. I'm also not here to tell you what to believe, okay? That's part of higher education that y'all are already getting involved in. Higher education is about taking the information and molding it to your own goals that you create. Think about that. Every assignment that you have in these classes, right? Try to find a way to make it work for you. Work smarter, not harder, right? I give 4 essays a semester for English 1101, right? The first 3 of those, you can write about literally anything under the sun. This is one of the hardest things for anyone to do. Hey, what's our topic? I don't know. What do you want to write about? Okay? Everybody freezes. Well, I don't know what I want to write about. Please give me an assignment. Give me a prompt. Tell me what to do. Higher education is about finding your own goals, setting them for yourself. Okay? What am I interested in? I like video games. I like soccer. I like reading fantasy, science fiction, all the stuff that's not necessarily considered, I don't know, not worthy, valuable maybe in a literary sense. Now we are breaking those walls down, thankfully. But these are things I'm interested in. So if I'm given an essay to write, there was one in grad school, the Wheel of Time series. Anybody heard of this? They made a TV series out of it. It's a long fantasy epic series. I'm in grad school at East Tennessee State University, and I say, you know what? It's a Shakespeare class, Shakespearean appropriations. And I say, you know what? I'm going to write a 20-page essay on this fantasy series and compare the main character with Macbeth. Because why? Because I like the Wheel of Time. Shakespeare's valuable and profound at times, but honestly, it's been beat to death by that point in my college education, and I was just tired of it. So I took that assignment and I found a way to make it work for me, to make it where I sat down every night when I had to work on it. I wasn't saying, oh God, I don't even want to write about this play anymore. But instead, I got to write about stuff I was happy about, I was interested in. This can work in everything. Every class that you're taking, psychology, econ, etc. Try to find ways to apply what your assignments are to your own life. We can't give you meaning. Okay? That's not our job. I'll try to inspire you, trust me. I'll try to cheer you. I'll be your biggest cheerleader. But I cannot give you meaning. You have to define that for yourselves. Okay? This is very important. Why? Because when you're sitting there and you're trying to do all your extracurriculars, right? You're trying to do your high school courses, your college courses, and you're looking at all this work and you're like, I don't have enough hours in a day to do this. That meaning that you've given yourself, okay? That's that grit, right? Part of what y'all are doing here, I've been told about this really, really cool from a metaphorical standpoint. It's poetic even, right? But finding your own goals, finding what motivates you, and then using that to accomplish the goals that you've set, right? To do those assignments. Hey, every assignment you do as well, you're not going to do necessarily your best. It might be the best in that moment in your life, right? But give yourself a break. Hold yourself to the highest standards you can, but at the same time, show yourself some grace too. Sometimes it's just about getting the assignment done, all right? But oftentimes it can be, well, this has to be my best work, so I'm not going to turn it in yet. And the due date passes. And then another week passes. And another week passes. And you still haven't turned in that assignment. And at this point, you're playing all kinds of mind games with yourself, right? You're saying, well, it's too late now. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of things built into higher education, to the core curriculum, that allow for life to happen, okay? But you won't know any of those things unless you reach out and maintain that communication with your professors. Hey, I'm sorry it's been 3 weeks and I didn't turn in this assignment. I freaked out. This is what's happened. Okay, well look, fine. Maybe you'll get partial credit. Maybe you'll get full credit. You never know any of this until you ask, okay? Remember, every professor's different. At the beginning of semester, they'll let you know about makeup work. They'll let you know about late work. They'll let you know about missing assignments and what their policies are. It's important to read, to listen, to make note of all that, okay? If you remember anything today that I've said, I want you to remember this right here. My email is chris.davis, just my first and last name with a dot in the middle. Pretty easy, for me at least, at ung.edu. I don't care what school you go to, all right? If you have a question, feel free to reach out, all right? Doesn't have to be about English. Anything regarding your higher education, your goals, etc. That's part of my job. That's part of all of our jobs that are here supporting you, okay? But I want to let you know, by being a part of this program, by taking these risks, you have gained so much already, contact-wise, resource-wise, tools that you can use to figure out your own goals, to figure out what's best for you, okay? Remember my email. Hit me up anytime, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, 24/7. If I'm awake, I answer emails. I can't stand the little notifications just hanging there. I have to clear it all. I treat them like text messages. You don't have to write me an elaborate letter. Just if you got a question, if I can't answer it, I will definitely find a way to get you in touch with somebody who can. All right? That's part of our job, in and out of the classroom. Okay? So communication. Make sure you have those lines open. It really is one of the most important things. Make the education work for you that you are getting today and all year, and hope next year for some of y'all, right? How many of y'all seniors in here? All right, cool. How many juniors? All right, so the juniors, y'all, I mean, heck, by the end of this program, y'all can almost leave with a freaking associate's degree. It is amazing. Some of you might even be able to. With 2 years of college knocked out, right? If y'all aren't proud of yourselves, give yourselves a little grace and admire, you know what? I'll be damned. I'm doing something. I'm doing something that a lot of people are not capable of doing, okay? That confidence will help you. It will help you define your own goals. It will help you become who you want to be. It will help you find ways to take that math lesson, right, that college algebra lesson, and find ways to apply it in your own life. I can't tell you how to do that because I can't count. But I'm sure it's possible. I got a colleague, a good friend, Jeremy Elrod, that's over at Ivester, and I'm sure he could find a way to tell y'all, hey, this is why it matters. This is how it would work in your life. Okay? Find ways to make this yours. Because if you're doing it for somebody else, that's not going to cut it. Okay? You'll hit a wall. You will hit a wall if you're doing this for somebody other than yourself. Okay? I don't know. Maybe you'll bust through it. I'm not saying it'd be the end. But you'll have way more resources if you find a way to make this your own goals, your own desires, your own beliefs, your own opinions, right? And in my class, we learn to defend those opinions with research versus emotion, right? Any of us can sit up here and try to appeal to the emotions of others, but how many of us can critically, logically break down an argument and be able to then communicate it to somebody who's not us effectively? Part of the problem with this world today, in my humble opinion, is that people don't know how to communicate clearly with somebody other than themselves who's living. You know, there's 90 of us in here or so. There's 90 different realities in this room. Some of them vastly different realities. Some of them closely similar. But at the same time, none of us are the same person or living in the same world, and so you have to learn to cross those boundaries with words, with language, back communication, right? D2L, or whatever the platform that you use, right? In my class, I lay out every single assignment you'll have for the entire semester from day one. You can read through the whole thing, you can work ahead, you can work at your own pace, all of that stuff. You're going to encounter different learning environments in every single professor that you encounter as well, okay? If one of them is one way, it might not be that way the next course that you take, even if it's another English course, okay? Be flexible, right? That flexibility, that adaptability, all of that is part of higher education. K through 12 primary school is a very regimented environment. Every minute of every day of your lives is carefully curated, right? Before I started talking to y'all today, you're hanging out, you're playing basketball, you're wandering around, right? You have freedom. That freedom comes at a price. The price is, as soon as you enter this program, you are adults. In my classroom, and some of you may have been adults for a very long time. Not necessarily age-wise, but experience-wise. I don't know your lives, okay? But when you're in these classrooms, you are as responsible as any other adult out there in this world, and you will be treated as such by all of us, okay? That means you're being held accountable for your actions. Nobody else is. I don't want to talk to anybody's parents, okay? And I won't. I'll talk to you, right? If I have something to say, I will speak with you. And vice versa, okay? We don't need a go-between. Adults don't do that, okay? So think about that when you come to class, when you're here. When you're wondering, man, I really don't want to go there today. It's out of my way. I don't have gas. I don't want to take the bus. Sometimes I don't want to go to work. Sometimes, well, not here. I always want to come teach because I like talking to people and listening as well. We're not going to do much listening today, unfortunately. But you got to be responsible, okay? Take responsibility for your work, for your actions. Dean Hardison said I was going to talk with you a little bit about artificial intelligence. Let me tell you something. As an English teacher, I don't know a lot about artificial intelligence, y'all. But what I will talk to you about is the philosophy that I approach it with, okay? I haven't used autocorrect on my phone since the existence of this function on a phone, okay? First phone I've ever had back in '99, and we didn't really have predictive text as much. But I turned that function off. Why? I still have it off. So at least when I'm texting or emailing, I know every word I wrote. Those mistakes are mine, right? It's not, oh damn, I didn't mean to send that word. But I don't like my language being co-opted. You know what I'm talking about? I don't like to be told what to say. Okay? Or how to say it. Autocorrect tells you what to say, how to say it. Hell, you open up Microsoft Word and you're typing an essay, right? It's going to offer suggestions. You didn't spell anything wrong. Everything's grammatically correct. But now there's you might sound better if you said this. Well, what if I don't want to say that? Okay? These are all little small forms of manipulating your language language and depriving you of agency in your own freedom of expression. Okay? AI is the same way. And all of these are milder forms, dumber forms of that artificial intelligence that we're encountering today, where you can type in a prompt and it'll spit out something. Remember also, it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't accurately write that prompt, well, there's no telling what it's going to say. And if you don't have the critical thinking skills to evaluate what it said, then you wouldn't even know what grade that paper might be. But more importantly, you'll have given up your agency and your authority in your own ideas, in your own identity, in your own freedom of expression. Okay? As young people, I hope that you are all rebellious to some degree and hate being told what to say and how to say it. I really, really hope that for you, because you need to latch onto that, because that independence of thinking, that independence of expression will carry you throughout your higher education, throughout the rest of your life. Okay? All of these tools that you're being bombarded with, they're tools. Use them effectively. Don't let them use you. Don't give up that agency to them. All right? AI can be useful. I have every professor you encounter on their syllabus should have a statement regarding the use of AI in their classroom. Okay? Mine is don't. I want to hear what you have to say, the way you have to say it. Okay? Ignore it. If any of y'all have ever looked anything up on the internet and looked at the AI response, that new one that's popping up, I guess, over the last year or so, 95% of the time it is unhelpful, if not downright inaccurate. Okay? Tools are only as good as the person using them. Okay? Use the tools. There's bibliography machines, right? I encourage y'all to use them in my course. I don't necessarily expect you to leave English 1101 having memorized the entire MLA handbook. Why? Because they change it every year anyway. Okay? Sometimes it seems arbitrary. We're going to put a period now. Now we're not going to put a period. I'm not asking you to keep up with that, because honestly, that's not my goal for my students. Right? My goal is for you to leave my classroom being able to clearly communicate in a logical, argumentative essay. Okay? To support your claims with details and evidence and analysis of that evidence. It's not that, wow, they memorized the entire MLA handbook. So I encourage you to use these bibliography machines where it's like, here's my source, let me put it in there, it spits it out, let me make sure that it looks the way it's supposed to. Okay, and then move on to the real good stuff, which is composing your essay. Any AI out there is the same kind of tool. I'd recommend not using it simply because personally, I don't want anything telling me what to say and how to say it and how to think, because our words reflect our thoughts, right? The words are how we share what's in here with who's out there. And if you start giving up your words to anything or anyone, it's going to affect all this up here too. How you see yourself, how you see the world. So make sure you take control over that. Back to setting your own goals, right? Being in charge of your own education, taking charge of it, making it work for you, right? So there's my little spiel on AI. Philosophically, don't give up your agency, your identity, your authority in your own life. And if you do, just do it knowingly, right? Also check each professor and their policy with regard to how AI can or cannot be used in their classrooms. Cool? You've got great support here with the dual enrollment program in Hall County. It's amazing that there's a new campus. There's 2 of these facilities now in this county. I just taught a dual enrollment class in Clark County this summer at the Watkinsville campus, and I grew up in Clark County. Went through Barnett Shoals, Hillsman, and graduated from Cedar Shoals in 1997. And it's a wild, wild west in Clark County public education. But I had a great time. But what we've been missing in Clark County, right? Supposedly the flagship state university. but I love being at UNG. We are a teaching school. We're here for our students. Without y'all, we don't exist. And that can't necessarily be said about these larger state institutions or larger institutions, period. But Clark County, for the first time, partnered with UNG this summer, where they provided transportation for students that didn't have that transportation available. This same thing that Hall's been doing for 10 years, right? That has culminated so far in these 2 campuses now and massive, massive influx of first-year college students, right? Families and people who have never had these opportunities before. That's what I believe in. And Clark County, man, it needs it so badly. We had 14 students in my class. That was the first, and you got to start somewhere. I'm not knocking it. But what y'all are a part of really is setting the stage and inspiring people all over this state. Counties, folks who never even dreamed they'd have an opportunity to go to college of any sort, right? Y'all are a part of that. So once again, remember, you have every right to be proud to be here, and it is my honor. All right? That's all I've got for you today. I would drop this mic, but it's probably more expensive than my car. Thank y'all.